Okay, Emma, please check the glove compartment in front of you. Check inside your backpack. Check under the seats. I cannot find my wallet anywhere, and we are driving toward a very big highway toll booth. I need to pay the toll in 5 minutes, and my pockets are completely empty.
Alex, take a deep breath. Please keep your eyes on the road and do not panic. Your wallet is perfectly safe. You gave it to me at the gas station an hour ago because you bought those coffees, remember? I put it inside my yellow bag. Here it is. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English Joyride. I am your co-host, Emma, and today I am sitting next to a very forgetful driver.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank you, Emma. My heart was beating so fast. Hello, everyone. I am Alex. Welcome to episode 4 of our B1 Intermediate series. I am so sorry for the panic. When you are on a long road trip far away from home, losing your wallet or your passport is an absolute nightmare. Your brain instantly starts jumping back in time, trying to remember every single thing you did that morning.
Exactly! You start asking yourself questions like, where did I leave it? Did I drop it? When I left the house, had I already packed it in my bag? Thinking about a sequence of events in the past can be very stressful in real life, but it is actually a fantastic topic for our English lesson today.
That is very true. In the A2 level, our listeners learned the past simple tense. You say things like, I woke up, I drank coffee, and I left the house. That is a simple list of events. But in the B1 level, we want to tell more complex, dramatic stories. We want to talk about things that happened before other things in the past.
Yes! As an English teacher, I can tell you that today's grammar topic is a huge milestone for intermediate learners. Today, we are going to learn about the past perfect tense. I like to call it the past of the past. We use it when we are already talking about a past event, and we want to jump even further backward in time.
We are going to learn how to connect two different past events using words like already, by the time, and before. Listen carefully to Emma's terrible travel story today. Pay close attention to how she uses the word had to jump backward in time and explain her disastrous morning. Okay, Emma, my wallet is safe, so I can relax and drive. But earlier, you told me that you once had a massive panic attack at an airport. Since we are talking about the past of the past today, tell our listeners your airport nightmare story. Where were you trying to go?
Oh, it is a painful memory, but it is a perfect story for this grammar lesson. 2 years ago, I planned a beautiful holiday to Paris. I was so incredibly excited. My flight was scheduled to leave at 10 o'clock in the morning, so I arrived at the busy airport at 8 o'clock.
Okay, so far so good. You arrived 2 hours early. That is the normal rule for international flights. What went wrong?
Everything went wrong. I walked into the huge airport terminal. I stood in a very long line, and finally I arrived at the check-in desk. The friendly woman behind the desk asked for my passport. I opened my backpack and I looked inside. I searched the front pocket, the back pocket, and the hidden zipper pocket. It was completely empty. My passport wasn't there.
Oh no! That is the worst feeling in the entire world. What did you do?
Well, my brain started working very fast. I was standing at the desk in the past, but my mind jumped further back into the past. Suddenly, I remembered the morning perfectly. I realized that I had left my passport on the kitchen table.
Why was it on the kitchen table? Why wasn't it in your bag?
Because I was completely exhausted the night before. Let me explain the sequence of events. When I finally woke up that morning, I realized that I had forgotten to set my alarm clock. Because I had forgotten my alarm, I woke up an hour late. I was rushing around the house like a crazy person. I drank some coffee, I grabbed my suitcase, and I ran out the door. But I had not put the passport in my bag. I just left it sitting next to my coffee cup.
Oh, Emma, that is a chain of terrible disasters. Because you had forgotten the alarm, you woke up late. Because you woke up late, you had left the passport on the table. It is like falling dominoes. Did you miss your flight to Paris?
I grabbed a taxi and raced back to my apartment. I ran inside, grabbed the passport, and raced back to the airport. But unfortunately, by the time I finally arrived at the correct gate, the airplane had already departed. I watched it flying in the sky through the airport window. It was a complete nightmare.
Well, I am so sorry you missed your flight to Paris, but your tragedy is absolutely wonderful for our B1 grammar lesson today. Let's break down the rules of your terrible morning. That story had so much excellent grammar. But first, let's look at the B1 vocabulary words we used to tell that dramatic story.
We used the word realize. To realize means to suddenly understand something, or to suddenly know a fact that you didn't know a minute ago. When I looked in my bag, I realized my mistake. We also used the word depart. Depart is a formal B1 level word for leave. Airplanes and trains depart from the station.
And we use the phrase, a sequence of events. A sequence is an order. One thing happens, then a second thing happens, then a third thing happens.
Exactly! And sequence is the secret key to our grammar today, the past perfect tense. We use the past perfect when we are telling a story in the past, and we want to talk about an action that happened earlier than the story.
Let's imagine a timeline. Let's call them Event A and Event B. Event A happens first in time. Event B happens second in time. For example, Event A, Emma left her passport on the table, 7 a.m. Event B, Emma arrived at the airport, 8 a.m.
If I tell the story in order, I can just use the past simple. I left my passport on the table, and then I arrived at the airport. That is correct, but it is very basic A2 English.
But B1 speakers like to mix the order to make the story more dramatic. They start with Event B and look backward at Event A. To do this, Event A must use the past perfect.
When I arrived at the airport, I realized that I had left my passport on the table.
Notice the structure. We use the helper word had, which is the past of have, plus the past participle, the third form of the verb. We say had left, had forgotten, had eaten.
Let's look at the end of my story. Event A, the plane departed, 10 a.m. Event B, I arrived at the gate, 10:15 a.m. Because the plane departing happened first, it gets the past perfect. By the time I arrived at the gate, the airplane had already departed.
We often use the word already with the past perfect. It emphasizes that the action was completely finished before you even got there. When I arrived at the party, my friends had already eaten the pizza.
The past perfect is a brilliant tool. It explains why things happened in the past. Why was Alex panicked today? He was panicked because he thought he had lost his wallet.
Okay, everyone, we are cruising down the highway, and before we finish today's joyride, let's do our B1 rapid review. We are going to quickly summarize these rules so you can use them in your own stories.
Let's review the past perfect tense, or as we call it, the past of the past. Rule number 1, the formula. To make the past perfect, use the subject plus had plus the past participle, verb 3. I had forgotten. She had eaten. They had left.
Rule number 2, the timeline. If two things happened in the past, use the past perfect for the action that happened first, event A, and the past simple for the action that happened second, event B. When I woke up, the sun had already risen.
Rule number 3, time words. Use phrases like by the time, already, and because to connect your two events. I was hungry because I hadn't eaten breakfast.
Fantastic! You just finished episode 4 of the B1 level. That is an incredible achievement. You learned how to describe a sequence of events, and you mastered the famous past of the past.
Knowing how to use the past perfect correctly is what separates an intermediate speaker from an advanced speaker. Your homework for today is to tell us a mini story using this grammar. Go down to the comment section right now and finish this sentence.
Yes, finish this prompt. When I arrived at work or school today, I realized that I had...
Tell us what you had done or what you had forgotten. For example, when I arrived at work today, I realized that I had left my laptop on my bed. We absolutely love reading your stories in the comments.
If this English Joyride is helping you become a better storyteller, please hit the red subscribe button and give this video a big thumbs up. Your support keeps our car running on the highway.
We are approaching the toll booth now, and Alex finally has his wallet ready to pay the fee. Thank you so much for riding with us today.
See you next time on the English Joyride. Goodbye, everyone.